Hey, Lee Wolf here. Welcome to Game Face Monday. We are live on, well, where I am, a very dreary, rainy day, but much needed. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and thanks for tuning in and watching and listening. As always, Mr. Richie Bello has me sitting by his side, and today we have a special guest who is the COO of Visquanta. His name is Christopher Wilson, and we're really happy to have him on the show today. How you guys doing?
Doing well, doing well. How are you guys?
Good.
Awesome. Doing well here.
Very good.
If you see me blinking a lot, pollen is raining from the sky. So I've been struggling a little bit with my eyes. So forgive me. I'm not nervous. I'm just blinking away here. And because of the weather, we may have a little technical slowdown once in a while, but it's looking pretty good so far. Before we get rolling on the show, just going to run a quick video from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos, on the SSA VIN retention report.
Look, you can keep telling your sales staff to make more calls day after day, but trying to sell more vehicles and retain customers with dirty data clogging your DMS and CDP, well, it's like trying to concentrate in a messy office. It's frustrating, chaotic, and let's be honest, a little embarrassing. But now with the SSA VIN retention report, you can clean up your DMS and CDP in no time. It's the ultimate tool to tidy up your data and pinpoint the customers you need to target. Reclaim those lost opportunities, win back the customers you thought were gone, and boost your sales with laser-sharp precision. The SSA VIN retention report helps you focus on the right customers at the right time with the right messages. Don't let dirty data hold you back. Clean it up, win them back, and drive success with the SSA VIN retention report from Shop Smart Autos. Inspect what you expect.
All right, we are back. We are live on this Monday. Whether you think about third-party leads, which are going to be passed around, you're going to be dealing with a lot of competition. First-party leads, not necessarily passed around, but just because the competition's not there, the number one thing that we do have to think about moving forward in this extremely competitive marketplace that we're in is nurturing those leads, no matter what. And today, talking to Christopher, we're going to be diving into some super AI-powered tools that he brings together, and when mixed with automotive sales experts, can make the situation very explosive for your dealership when it comes to nurturing those leads and staying on top of the retention game. But before we get rolling on that, Christopher, could tell us a little bit about where you came from and how you ended up here with Visquanta?
Yeah, so my background has always been in small business scalability. I, started small businesses, had sold them. Full transparency, I'm not a car guy. I've never been a car guy. And I really always start the conversations with dealers. And, I start by saying, look, I don't claim to be an expert when it comes to selling a vehicle, but I do know business and I know good business. I know really good processes for sales staff. And because of the team that we have at Visquanta that does include car guys, professionals, managers, whether that's GMs, GSMs, sales guys, we've really built a really solid team to really, all encompass the knowledge base needed. And we've done a lot of digging into the dealerships, what they need, where the problems lie with the sales department, sales professionals, etc. So Visquanta really, when we formed, we built a series of AI-based tools, but also the processes in which to use them. And then we took it a step further and niched down into the automotive space. And the reason we did that was we saw that there was a need for multiple needs on the sales front, right? But lead nurturing is really a big deal. And a lot of people see these AI tools and they just think, oh, great, like this is just a click, a plug and play. This is going to nurture my leads. But what we found was a lot of it's just templatized. And so all you're really doing is trying to keep somebody engaged enough so that when the salesperson picks up the phone and makes that call, it's like, oh, we hope that they just show up, right? We hope they just come in for a test drive.
Right.
We take it a step further, and with our generative AI, we really created this entire ecosystem that is meant to not just nurture the leads, but be empathetic, be there, have it seem like it's a real person talking with them with no immediate timeline goal, right? So we don't need them to come in for a test drive today. We'd love for them to, but if somebody says, hey, my family's sick, or the finances aren't there, our AI is not pushing them to come in for a test drive. Don't, like come in today, book a test drive. But we don't do that. It could be a month, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 6 months. The goal for Visquant is to help the dealerships provide a better customer experience, to better arm the sales staff to make educated sales calls with purpose, to better results within the service drive, improve CSI, improve customer retention, kind of the whole mix. So that's how Visquantus started. We started as this AI that could handle any industry's sales process and really help to reactivate old leads. And then we niched down into automotive, and we've just been fine tuning it over the past year and a half.
Okay. So yeah, it sounds like a real relationship building set of tools, because you were saying it's not necessarily instantly today. It could be over weeks, it could be over months, but the bottom line is there's that constant wave of communication throughout all of these lost opportunities that are kind of giving them that nudge towards your dealership.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We always kind of lead with the lead loss mitigation, right? We start off rough numbers. How many online leads do you receive a month? 1,000. Cool. How many did your sales staff close? 200. Yeah, we sold 200 vehicles last month. Great. What do you do with the other 800 leads? Well, zombie leads, right? Like they just kind of go away. Sales staff will follow up over time. But what if that same number carries over next month, right? Now you have 1,600 old leads. Maybe the salespeople cherry picked a few here and there. But at the end of the day,
look at 10,000 leads a year.
Yeah, exactly. And the sales staff has a job to close the deals that are coming in, that are hot, that are ready to go. And that's what they go for, right? They want to sell vehicles. And so what we found was sales staff, no matter how good they are, over time, you just naturally have this fallout, right? I followed up with this lady for 6 weeks. She's not buying. I'll circle back in another month. Still can't get in touch with her, so on and so forth. And we found that with our database reactivation tool, we plug that in, we integrate with the CRM that the dealership uses, and through a conversational SMS AI, we re-engage those leads. And again, that could be instant. We've had people come in for a test drive that day, or that could be maybe 6 months because they were going through something or they had some issues. Our AI is it's very empathetic, and it's just a casual conversation. There's no pressure. And I think that really helps to push some of these leads that may have been interested in a vehicle 6 months ago, 12 months ago, into saying, oh yeah, you know what? It is time for us to get a new vehicle. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Richie, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, all these missed opportunities, like Christopher was saying, 1,000 leads come in, 200 are sold, 800 are hanging out there. Maybe they hit them up once or twice over the next couple of months. But now with these AI tools, communicating with them over a period of time and keeping that relationship alive, who knows if there's another 100 or 200 opportunities that come flying in because of that.
Well, what my take is on this, as everybody knows, this podcast is not a paid podcast. It took me a long time to bring Chris in, right? From understanding the product line to what it does. So here's how I looked at it. I'm real simple. I'm not one of these guys that has to really get into it too much, right? I'm a car guy. Keep it simple, and dumb for me. Okay. Now, what I looked at is he's got a retention tool. He retains your lost leads. So now we're all in retention, the two worlds. Now, Mr. Dealer, okay, is spending to generate those 1,000 leads. If he spends it through his website, first party, you're looking at $45 to $65 a lead. Okay. So
Yeah.
through Google, that's what you're paying. Through Facebook, that's what you're paying. $45 to $65. And the reason that's an average is because in certain parts of the country is more money, in other parts of the country is less, depending how Google says the search is. Okay. So now he said 45. That's $45,000 a dealership is spending to get 1,000 leads. Only sells 200.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, right, he brings to the table lead retention, right?
Yep.
That's a big thing because now you're retaining your customers plus your lead retention. Now, if they only do 200 cars out of 1,000, it's a loser for that store.
Yeah.
It's a loser because the cost 45. What's 45,000? Let's say $45,000. What's his average per car delivered? What, 700 and change, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe more. At those numbers, is more money. Okay. So now there used to be Lee, and you remember this. Lee was in advertising. Okay. And he remembers this. When I did a promo with him, I had residual, right? I would do a direct mail newspaper, and I wouldn't sell everybody Sunday, but I would have residual after a week passed by, right? Customer comes in, I saw this ad. Well, I didn't even run an ad.
Right.
But that's
Right.
residual you get. I got a direct mail piece. Well, that was last week, okay?
Right.
But we never said that. We have a sale. Every day is a sale day in the car business. So no matter what the customer told you, oh, yes, today's a sale day. Correct. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, listening to that, so you have two product lines that I've identified here. One is the retention, and the other one is to keep coming back to the customer, right? So if you just book out of those 800 leads, if you just book 50 leads based on what you charge is nothing.
Yeah.
Because if I would go to Google and get 50 leads from Google, what am I looking at?
Right.
I'm looking at a lot of money.
Our national average.
If those customers, you retain them and buy the vehicle, okay, those customers are going to be retainable when they buy the car.
Right.
So that's what my thought is on your product line. And that's why we brought you in here.
Yeah. No, and I appreciate it. Our national average here in the US is a minimum of 5% conversion to old dead leads coming in for a test drive, a booked appointment that shows. So it's a 5%, 5% average at minimum. Our international average is somewhere about 7.5% currently. So it's, again, like you were saying, Richie, if you look at the numbers, it makes sense. I mean, part of what I've kind of uncovered in the world of auto is, as a dealership, I'm happy to spend all this money on online leads, knowing that my sales team's going to do a good job and knock out what they need to, right? If it's 100 cars, 200, 300, 400, whatever it is, the lost leads, what we look at is we're like, well, it is in a sense a little bit of a expected wasteful marketing spend. You know what I mean? You, as a dealership, hey, out of all these leads I'm buying here, I'm really only going to get X%. And that's really what I want to convert at as a KPI. And that's great. If you're within that KPI and you've converted at the percentage you want, that's phenomenal. What we do with just our DVR tool alone is help to increase that and recapture some of that spend, which is such a huge deal. One thing I want to highlight too is the Visquanta AutoMaster suite is comprised of 5 key components: the database reactivation tool, like we just talked about, the speed to lead services, where we tie our conversational AI to every social media account, your website widget. We have a custom website widget. Any advertising, including like tier 3 advertising that you might do.
Right.
And we can connect with any of the CRMs the dealership uses. And we can, depending on the request of the dealership, we can have the AI start communicating with leads instantly if they would like, after 2 days if they would like, or we can turn that tool, that speed to lead element, into more of a hybrid with the database reactivation, where if it's a day after a salesperson marks the lead dead, or 2 days or 3 days, then our AI can pick it up at that point. So we have the DBR, the speed to lead. We have a Service Drive Pro, which is in beta test right now. That is a voice and text message hybrid model. And that model is currently being beta tested in a number of locations. So it's not really ready for retail just yet. That's the third element.
Right.
The fourth element is going to be the reputation management and the CSI improvement. And so what we do is, after a customer sells, it's marked sold, our AI will communicate via SMS with that sold customer and really just pick up on how the experience was. We try to beat out any factory survey, right? So we want to make sure that they had the best experience possible before that factory survey goes out, and hopefully deal with any sort of issues that were, that did happen, or just to find how their experience was overall. And we really just help automate the review process through SMS as well. Last element to the Visquanta AutoMaster suite is something that I'm super proud of. It's our hands-on approach. Every store that we have that uses Visquanta service, we have a training team that flies out to the location and does in-store trainings twice a year or every quarter if needed. It's not like the Andy Elliott sales trainings. It's, us going out to the store, doing these in-depth audits and saying, hey, we sent back into your CRM 400 leads. You guys only sold 5. So we really do like an in-depth on-demand audit. We go through every single lead and we just say, here's how you guys can better sell cars using Visquanta. Read the notes, look at what the AI has provided you. So that's our AutoMaster suite wrapped up into one. And that's when you pay for the AutoMaster suite, you get every tool regardless of what you use.
Interesting. So with the interesting. So will it actually connect and follow interesting. How do I put this question? So the SMS, they segment their list. They know the leads that haven't, they didn't strike gold with them. Yep. You guys automatically incorporate yourselves into the CRM. You're hitting them up with, it just kind of decides at that point what kind of a communication to shoot out to the customer.
Correct. Yeah. And one of the big things is we actually have human monitors monitoring the AI. So again, AI is not perfect. We all know that. It can, at times, maybe it says something that we're like, I don't know if that's really the way to go. Right. Our human monitors that are hands-on 24/7 with those conversations really help to make sure that the flow is going accurately. And then we have trigger words, or phrases rather, inside of that workflow. So if somebody says, yeah, give me a call, the AI then will communicate and say, what time works best for you. If it's like, call me now, then that triggers an action to be sent into whatever it is, VinSolutions. It doesn't matter what the CRM is, triggers an action to then notify the management, the GSM, or whoever it is that the dealership elects as that person, right? Could be a BDC, you name it.
Right.
They get a notification that lead's already in there, and then our AI moderator sends in a note with the entire conversation breakdown. So when that salesperson at the dealership goes to call Richie, he can pick up the phone seeing, okay, Richie wanted to look at this Suburban because he's got 4 kids, 2 dogs, and they do road trips all the time. Didn't have the money previously, but got a raise, got a bonus, blah, blah, blah. So when that salesperson picks up the phone to call, he has all the information needed to have that educated, it's really arming the tool belt, making the sales call. If that person comes into the store, test drives, buys the car, sold, customers marked sold. And within the CRM, we have a trigger coming back to activate an SMS out to the customer. Here's the conversation flow. It's kind of like, hey, Richie, like, we're so happy that you were able to grab that new Suburban. Like, how's that treating you? How was your experience at XYZ Cars, right? Like, how was your time with salesperson with Lee? Did he do a great job? And then, Richie texts back, oh, it was great. Everything was good. Financing took a little bit. It was kind of a pain, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Then we go back. If it's something bad, if it's like, my experience with Lee was awful, I couldn't stand it, that triggers another workflow straight into notification of the management to pick up the phone and call Richie instantly. Hey, this is Chris, GM over at XYZ Cars. Tell me what was going on. What happened with Lee? Like, we want to make it right. So we found that doing things that way is ultimately the best. We're so proactive because when Richie gets that factory survey, at that point, he's got 2 decisions, right? Like, my time with Lee might not have been great, but Chris called me. They brought me back in. They did something nice for me. It was a great experience. Okay, boom. Now factory surveys out. Great experience. Good time. That was phenomenal.
They only remember the last thing. Remember that. They remember
correct.
the last experience. They don't remember.
Exactly.
People don't remember what happened. Like, you go to a restaurant, you don't remember that it was a shitty service. The guy comes up to you and gives you a free cocktail or gives you something on him, and it's that's the way humans are. You remember the last event. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So that's a good product, and we all know that through psychology that's the way it works, right? And the other thing, Chris, I was listening to you a little bit, but I wanna add something. So you'll have a tool, and I don't want to call it that, but CDP. It's like a CDP because of the functionality. Mm-hmm. That's more or less what the CDP does. There's a lot of these great companies out there, and there's a lot of these companies that are having a hard time because they go into the process and they have the technology, so they walk into the door, knock, 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 and they think it's just turning everybody on. And we both know that that's not the way it is. So what happens to them is they overpromise and they underdeliver. So a lot of CDP people that are overpromising and underdelivering, it ain't that their product is that good, is that they don't know the process. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I liked about Chris and his company is that they're in different verticals, so they have that process already from different verticals. Now they're bringing it in to the automotive sector. Is that correct, Chris?
That's correct. Yeah. And we, it took us a while to really refine the process over and over. That was kind of by design. The first store that we got into, we knew that we couldn't charge for it. Hey, give us a shot. Let us plug this in. We're not going to charge you anything. We want to work alongside you to figure out how this is going to work step by step. Right. And then Visquanta, again, like, you think of it as a sphere, it's just a circle. It's an ecosystem. After they sell, like we talked about, well, then guess what? Now you're getting reminders about service. And once that Service Drive Pro is finish through beta, essentially it will just look like an infinity loop, and they'll go into service and they'll forever be nurtured. And then again, down the road, hey, my daughter needs a car, my son needs a car. You're just going, it's just this infinity loop that just continues to go. So it's truly by design a forever ecosystem. And what's so beautiful about that is those processes have all been done over the past year and a half through refinement. V24, I think, is where we're at now. And what's really, really cool is I can walk into a dealership and say, look, I'm not a car guy, but let me show you this database reactivation that champions our lost lead mitigation. And just that one product alone is worth what I will charge you every month. And I'll show you all the results. We won't put a term length on your contract. It's all month to month. Don't believe me? Try it out for free for a month. Let me know what you think. It's pretty straightforward. I think that's something that sets us apart from a lot of other companies is
Yes.
we're so transparent with our results because we have to be. You don't like what we did today? Well, you might fire us. So every single day we have to be on top of it. And every single month we have to deliver those results if we expect to retain that store as a client.
Right. Yeah, and there's the potential there for, I think you said 5 to 7 vehicles about, right? You're landing in that.
Yeah. In between 4 and 7 is like usually average. Again, high volume stores knock it out of the park. Even some independent stores that only sell 20 to 40 vehicles a month have used our database reactivation and sold an additional eight cars.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't want another 60, 70, 80, 90 cars a year?
Exactly. Yeah.
Chris, let me ask you this other question.
Yeah.
So I'm a store. I want to get turned on with you, right?
Yep.
I reach out to you. Boom. You turn me on. I have 1,000 leads, right?
Yep.
And you're going to work the 800 because 200 I sold, right?
Yep.
How long does that take you? And until when do you keep following this up?
Yeah. Are you asking how long we would continue to follow up with those leads
with
for?
the 800 leads, right?
Forever. The buy or die mentality is exactly how it works. I can tell you, I'll answer that sequentially. So we go into a store, they want to get set up. Our onboarding takes about 10 days. Now, people have asked us, they said, well, why does it take 10 days? Why is it not like I just turn it on and we're ready to go? Sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but it is truly every element of our AutoMaster suite is custom built with our accounts team and the dealership management team. So we don't rush through it. We make sure that all the prompting is accurate. We make sure that all of the objectives are in place, the workflows are in place. After 10 days, we start pulling a report from the CRM or live polling, depending on what the agreed upon terms are. And we'll start communicating with those leads daily. The range really depends. It could be, again, if you have a higher volume, it might be like 200, 250 of those people a day are getting communicated with. That conversation is going to go forever until somebody says, look, I'm no longer interested. Please stop contacting me. Or somebody says, you know what? Okay, yeah, give me a call, right? That's by design, that's how that works. And so every single month you batch in these new or these old or dead leads that have funneled through, and we just continue to work that way. While that's happening, just imagine that's compartmentalized over here. If they're utilizing the speed to lead features like our website widget, our integrations into social media, advertising, the AI is just communicating with those leads in real time over here in this separate compartment. And then again, any customer, even if it's not a lead that we worked on the reputation management side of things, is being contacted over here in a separate compartment, just real time.
Okay, so now I'm a dealer, right? Dealers are always
Yep.
looking to maximize everything, right? And
Correct.
like a business owner, but they're a little bit more than that. So I say to myself, I have 1,000 leads. I only sold 200 of them.
Yep.
45 or $5,000 or $50,000. Okay.
Yep.
Now, I got a virtual BDC. I got all these things. Now, here comes this company. What's going to stop me from not giving you all my leads? Maybe if you had all my leads at the beginning, you have a better ROI. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thought is we've had a lot of dealers ask that. We have a lot of dealers that say, well, why not just can my entire department, right? Let you guys do your thing.
Correct.
But this is really funny. Might sound a little cliche, but Visquanta is Latin for living, right? And we know that our AI, the systems that are developed, are always going to be more effective when you have a trained, good salesperson on the end of that, right? We have sold a vehicle over SMS. But that's not every case. I'm not one of those people. If I get a text, am I going to buy a car over text? No, I want somebody to talk to. I want to go in. So we encourage the stores to not just be slashing people left and right because we can do that job. We want to empower them. That's why we come out and we fly out and we do the trainings. We want to better assist the sales staff. So if a GM says, well, why don't I just give you all my leads? What we say is, well, we've helped you develop a good sales process for your team. If you want us to touch the leads faster, let's just change it so that 24 hours after a lead is marked dead, our AI picks it up right away. Or if you have, again, like the speed to lead services when you're utilizing them, when somebody's DMing your dealership on Facebook, the AI is just picking that up right away. We found that that's really effective. A lot of the advertising, the clicks online, the DMs on Instagram, Facebook, the likes, the comments, let the AI handle that. That works phenomenally. And again, if you have too much lead flow coming in and your sales department's not big enough and you want us to touch some of those instantly, we can do that.
Well, the reason dealers ask that is real simple. It's 50,000. Okay.
Yep.
Plus, then I need to spend money because that kind of volume, I need a virtual BDC. Right.
Correct.
So now that's another $10,000, $12,000 easy.
Yep.
Okay, easy. So now you're talking about 65 or 70, and based on your numbers, right? Well, we talked before the show started, and I know your numbers for quite some time now. Based on your numbers, I'll save a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a bigger result. So why, as a dealer principal, why wouldn't I? That's why they ask you that question, because, we all look at the cost, at the number. Okay.
Right.
That's the number. And then, wow, I could do this like this. So now let's go back to your technology. Is it AI or is it a combination of automation and AI with integration?
It's really all three. It's a hybrid model. This is not a tool that it wouldn't be nearly as successful as it is if we just gave it to a dealership and said, turn it on, log in, and let it do its thing. Right. We know that. And there's a lot of talk, NADA, the AI is the hot topic. Everybody always talks like AI. But what you have to realize is AI is everywhere. It's the utility of AI that is so important. So when dealerships say to us, like, well, we already have AI, we use Impel. Impel's great. Their digital merchandising is phenomenal. We don't do any digital merchandising. I'll never bash Impel or Podium or Matador. I think they do a great job at what they do. We work alongside them in a number of locations. Right. Some of the stores that use Impel say, hey, we'd love to use your speed to lead services and your database reactivation. Right. Awesome. Again, AI, it's only as good as the design, right? What is the functionality and the utility of the AI, right? Because anybody and everybody can go out and design a chatbot. I think you could probably design a chatbot online in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But what are the processes and the utility behind it that back it up? All of our prompting, utility, workflows, actionables, those are all designed in the automotive space. That's what makes it so successful. And then we really just tie in that human element at the end. We want your salesperson to pick up the phone and make that call, get them in for a test drive. If our AI just booked a test drive for you and it's already there, that's great. But a lot of times that human touch is what's missing from a lot of these dealerships because they think that AI can just replace that. I'm going to automate everything. Okay, well, maybe that's going to work for you for a little bit. We think that it's a pairing between the two that makes it even more successful.
And can I say something?
Absolutely.
That's like Lee's got advertising, a digital marketing company, White Dove Bird.
Mm-hmm.
So he has that. So let's say Lee tells me, and you know about me and leads, right? Like for an example, those founding leads and all that. We're in different verticals too. All right. So now let's say Lee tells me, hey, Richie, I want you to go buy me third-party leads.
Yep.
I would say, okay. Let me see how much they charge. Let me see how much they cost, and then I'll invoice you, whatever. The first thing I'll do is I'll make those leads automated. That goes right into, I'll say, Lee, make an email, and I'm going to ping post you those leads. They're going to go right to that email only, and I'm going to automate it through Go High Level, right?
Yep.
Zapier, whatever you call it. I'm not good with names, but I know how to use it, right?
Yeah.
I'll integrate it for SMS with Trello and also for the email to go out automatically to book an appointment. And the SMS will go right on after the second day, right? Why?
Right.
Because just like I'm doing that, his competitors are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't automate your lead today, it ain't going to work. And that's the problem in the car business, that every industry is ahead of the game except the automotive sector. Me, I went outside of the automotive sector. I've been doing this since I'm 19. I went out of the automotive sector just to learn.
Right.
In reality, what motivated me was to learn because funnels, email funnels, I've been doing that for over a decade with Infusionsoft, okay? With a good friend of ours, which is Clayton and Mask, he was the owner at the time, and then he sold it. I was with them since the beginning of time, since I flew to Arizona, and they trained us, and they gave it to us in beta when he first developed it, okay?
Yeah.
So automation is key. So if you don't have your stuff automated, now, of course, automation came in with a spin on AI.
Yeah.
And now, of course, came more integration. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. But the whole thing is the automation. If you're buying leads and you're not automating them,
right,
your competitor is not eating your lunch. He's eating your lunch. He's eating everything from you because that guy has it automated. Guess who's going to lose? You are.
Right.
You can't beat a machine.
No.
Right. You know what I mean? Could a horse win a car? Impossible. And that's what they're doing. These automotive people, they're not understanding that you gotta automate. First thing you gotta do is automate. You can still get third-party leads. As long as you have them automated and boom, it's much easier. You didn't need leads. You didn't need leads while COVID or before COVID. Why? Because supply was in demand. The customers weren't. Okay?
Right.
You didn't have inventory to generate leads. Okay?
Right.
Now, what happened was the whole system changed. Now, consumers are in demand, not supply. So that being said, the lead generation comes in. And with a company like yours, right, that we have a relationship, easy for us to really help dealers out and turn them back on to the lead generation with ShopSmart, because now you're going to nurture those. And there's a lot of companies out there that are using this. I mean, I don't like to mention any names, but Full Path, from what I know, is a good company. From what I hear, not so good with over-promising and under-delivering and like that. There's plenty of them. You know, and I wouldn't bring them to my podcast, just to let everybody know, because I've been reached out, not interested. I'm interested in companies that have a good product and really give something to the dealership, because not giving that value to the dealership is not what I like. Like, you take, for example, VinSight, they have a chat bot. They have all these things but it's all followed up through emails, and that's another good company. You know, the people that I bring here, good companies. Pure Car, another awesome, amazing company. You know, and the list goes on. And you're one of a really good company that I know that you're going to actually help a dealership. You're not going to help only yourself. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of these new companies that come into the auto they look at. It's $1 billion industry, this, that. If I just get a little hair, I'm rich already. But what they don't understand is you got to really nurture that. You got to really put that together. You know, you can hire a sales team and they're going to be kicking ass. But at the end of the day, when they're rocking, that customers get unhappy, they're going to leave you and you're out of Dodge. That's it. And now you got all these investors, you got everybody on you. And what did you do? Your cost of acquisition was too much money, so it doesn't work. So and with your product, what I like about it is you nurture the leads. So which means is you're retaining from the get-go leads. And now we come in as the VIN retention, and we can show the dealership but now you're showing them what they're selling. It's a great partnership, I call it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just to touch on that too, I mean, there's a lot of really great companies out there that are similar to ours. We've discussed this before. I think that's one of the reasons that we have been so successful is we decided to form the business self-funded. We didn't want external funding because we didn't want input into the direction the company needed to take outside of the automotive industry. So one thing that happens with big companies is when they have large investors that come in, they say, here's what we need from a volume perspective and a projected revenue, right? That means locking you in, Mr. Dealer, for a year, you know, at a discounted rate. And if after month 2 you're not happy, we're sorry about that. Like, there's, you know, you're locked in for a year. For us, every dealership that we've ever signed, it's personal because we do have that hands-on touch. Right. We built a horizontal infrastructure that can handle thousands and thousands of stores. Up to this point, 80% of our business has been referral business, which is great. You know, the car world, referrals are everything. It's king. Right. So as we expand into some of these new groups in different states, different countries, we're really grateful and humble from, you know, especially where we came from. But I think that's also just something that really sets us apart is, look, this is a group of guys that came together, some car guys, some not car guys, and help build a product to better the way that dealerships do business. Yeah. And it's kind of Visquanta in a nutshell.
Awesome. Actually, we're going to take a brief moment to check in with JP over at VinSight, which actually Richie was talking about just earlier on his retention minute. Get ready for the music. It's a doozy.
Hello, JP Burkemper with VinSight here. Retention is not just important for your bottom line, dealers. It's a key metric that OEMs are watching very closely. See, manufacturers track how well you retain customers because it directly impacts their market share, brand loyalty, and long-term profitability. And guess what? Your retention performance affects your dealership's benefits as well. Things like floor plan assistance, co-op marketing dollars, and even the resale value of your franchise. So if your retention numbers are weak, you're leaving money on the table. Strong retention means better factory support, more favorable allocations, and a stronger standing with the brand. So OEMs know that lifetime value of a customer is a lot bigger and stronger, greater than a one-time sale. We all know that. And that's why they're investing heavily in retention programs. So If you're not actively engaging your customers, they're going to find a way to do it for you. So the question becomes, are you controlling your customer relationships, or is the OEM? See, the dealerships that are winning are the ones that take ownership of retention instead of relying on the manufacturers to do it for them. With VinSight, you sell them, we keep them coming back.
Yeah, I warned you about that music. Yeah.
So,
Love it.
Chris a minute, right? I wanted to say something about what sets him apart from CDPs and all these automotive that just came into the automotive space, right? Some of them have been there a long time, but he's got different verticals, okay? Why is that? Because for the process. So let's talk about Helms Technology, same type of person. Helms Technologies has a different verticals that they've been doing. There's DMS marketing that they do in the car business, to the cell phone companies, et cetera, right? So retention, right? So they also came into the market and they were able to integrate everything nice and easy and wrap it up, okay? Why? With no problems. Everybody's super happy about them because they already did it. They did it in different verticals. So it took them a while to integrate it into the automotive vertical. Now, think about this. Dealers, new car dealers, used car dealers, Chris here has different verticals. He's already got a proven process, a proven track record. All he's doing is bringing in that process into the automotive space. Much easier than somebody that I did a CDP, I got a gazillion of dollars, let me go get dealers. Okay, but where is that process? Well, the process is failing because that same person is like lost a lot of stores not too long ago. And we already know about it because everybody talks in the car business. Okay?
Right.
It's a crazy business. You know, everybody talks. You might think they don't say anything, but they do. So now these verticals, when somebody, and I have the track record with companies like Helms Technology, okay, and that's just to mention one. He was in a way different vertical, okay, 4 or 5 different verticals. Came in when he came into the car business, it was like, okay. It's like you go into the park and playing ball. You do it in your hometown or you go across the country and do it somewhere else. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same game. It's just in a different state.
Right.
So that's what Chris has, right? Which is that he's in different verticals, so it's very easy as far as an integration process, as far as a result process, because he comes from a whole different, the same thing. It's just the same thing.
Yeah.
And they believe in it so much they'll let you try it, and they're not locking you in for contracts, and they're not.
That's it.
Yeah.
Then I go in after the invoice, and I go in after guttering you and nothing, and it's a great product that Chris has, and it's amazing what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, certainly want everybody to know that the hands-on account management, that never goes away. That's one of our core values, and yeah, we're never flaking on that. So it's something that's certainly rare to find in today's world. Not just submitting a service ticket online or communicating with an account manager via email. Like, we'll show up. We'll be at your store. So
correct.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, Christopher. You guys could reach out at Christopher at visquanta.com. That's VISQUANTA.com. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't give it a go. It doesn't make any sense not to give it a try. They'll let you try it. Integration is only going to take a little over a week. You're going to be flying if you can hang on, if you can grab 4 to 7 cars a month and multiply that over the course of a year, and who knows if you'll hit 20 cars a month. You'd be crazy not to try it. And as always, Mr. Bello, thanks for having me by your side.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
I want to tell you something. I hope to see you real soon. And
yeah, absolutely.
I think we're planning something to see each other real soon. So let's talk about that. And Chris, again, you got a great product. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. I appreciate it. And you got a really, really good product. I'm not so much like a game changer, but it is a game changer because you have I call it the blueprint. Now, all it is, the dealer, you want the blueprint that works in other businesses like Helms Technology did, man. And they're setting the world on fire. Congratulations to that. They're doing a great job.
That's right. We'll bring the blueprint, the materials, and the builders too. So that's kind of us. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a pleasure chatting with you guys. Richie, look forward to seeing you soon. And Lee, great chatting with you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks to everyone for
Thanks, guys.
listening.